What's going on, Commanders fans and YouTube family? This is Raise Hail Zell back again with another video, and in this video we're going to be talking about Jayden Daniels. We're going to be talking about if he is actually a top 5 QB or in that realm of top 5 QBs with only one season under his belt. Is he already in that top 5 debate? That's what we're about to get into. So without a further ado, let's hop right into it. So, as you can see, this is going to be a little bit biased because I am, of course, a Commanders fan, but I do want to be realistic about what I'm about to talk about. I'm going to list off his stats, but I'm going to stay away from the stats. This is going to be an opinion-based video. And feel free to leave a comment below if you disagree or if you agree or if you have somebody else that you want to put in the top 5, yada, yada, yada. So let's talk about it. Top 5 QB right now. Is Jayden Daniels a part of that? First off, let's get out the way. The top 4, of course, we have your Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, Josh Allen, of course, and Joe Burrow. I think that's the clear consensus of what the top 4 QBs in the league are and what it is. Those 4 are, I don't want to say miles away from the pack, but there's a big gap between those 4 and the rest of the league. But who people generally put at 5 differs. Some people put Jalen Hurts at 5 now that he won a Super Bowl. Some people have put Matthew Stafford at 5. Some people even put Baker Mayfield in that range. Some people put Jayden Daniels in that realm. Jared Goff was in at some point this season, and so was Sam Darnold. So, and even Jordan Love, I mean, I wouldn't be mad at him being in that, at least talked about it. But I'm not here to tell you, if you want to put Jalen Hurts at 5, that's by all means. I'm here to just explain why I think Jayden Daniels should be at 5. So, excuse me. I'm going to read off his stats real quick. Now, these stats do include playoffs. So, he has a total of 20 games. 68.4 completion percentage, 4,390 passing yards, 7.4 yards per attempt, 30 passing touchdowns, 10 interceptions, 1,026 rushing yards, which is the most by a rookie ever, regular season, postseason, whatever it is. It's the most rushing yards by a rookie quarterback ever. 7 rushing touchdowns. And yeah, like I said, these include playoffs as well. So with all that being said, he had a very, very solid rookie QB. He wasn't in the top 5 for passing yards. He was I think he was second for rushing yards for a QB, but these are really, really solid QB stats. Not even to mention for a rookie, but these are just really, really solid stats in general. And then to add on that he's a rookie, that just, speaks volumes of what he can be going forward. So is he top 5? I think he's top 5. All bias aside, I really do think he's top 5. If you watched him play, there's a lot of instances that tell you, okay, this man has some elite abilities that most QBs in the league just don't have. When you talk about the talent around him compared to a lot of these other teams, a lot of these other guys, like you got Jared Goff, who's with the Lions. Granted, their defense was injured this season a lot, but their offensive weapons are miles above what the Commanders have. This season, what he went through, essentially he had Terry McLaurin and Zach Ertz as his main go-to guys. Zach Ertz is about 34 now, 33. Terry McLaurin is a legit wide receiver in this league. So let me not downplay Terry McLaurin, but that's about it. When you look at the talent that a lot of these other quarterbacks have, they're playoff quarterbacks like Jalen Hurts and his offense. We ain't even got to get into what he has over there. You know, we got Saquon Barkley and all those other guys over there. You got the Lions. We got those two tandem, David Montgomery and other young running back stud they got. And then they got Amon-Ra St. Brown, Sam Laporta. They got two All-Pro linemen. Like, you got to really and really put things into perspective when you're comparing him to other QBs that you want to add into that 5th spot. Now, if you want to put Jalen Hurts at 5, go ahead. I have no rebuttal for that. I mean, we can compare players' stats. We can compare players' play styles. Jalen Hurts just won a Super Bowl. He just led his team to a Super Bowl, led him to Super Bowl MVP. He deserves to be in the discussion. I'm not mad if you want to put Jalen Hurts in at 5. If you want to put Matthew Stafford at 5, if you want to put Jared Goff at 5, I'm not mad if you're doing that. All I want from listeners who listen to this podcast is just to admit that Jayden Daniels is in the discussion as a top 5 QB right now. That's it. He's in the discussion. I'm going to put him at top 5. Obviously, I'm a Commanders fan, and there might be some bias there. Not even might. There's definitely bias there. But as long as we understand he's in the realm of being talked about in the top 5, then we can, we don't have to disagree. That's something that we can both agree on. So with that being said, Bleacher Report ranked him 6 right after Jalen Hurts at 5. I think that report came out after the Super Bowl. NFL.com has Jayden Daniels ranked the top 5, and this also came out after the Super Bowl. And then PFF ranks JD5 as the 5th highest graded QB for the 2024 regular season. So those 3. There's a lot. Those are just the ones that I pulled just for this video. There's a lot of other reports out there that have him in the top 5 realm. If not 5, maybe 6 or 7. But he's up there to be discussed with the top 5. But those go to show you that it's not just the Commanders fan base that's putting him in the top 5. There's a lot of, really smart sport people or NFL gurus who think so as well, or at least put him in a discussion. Just to name off a few other things, accomplishments that he's had. He had the best QBR in the 2024 playoffs with an 86. And I know a lot of people don't really respect QBR like that. They want to look at the passer rating, but that's just something that he's number 1 in for the playoffs. He was number 1 at it with an 86 and had the 4th ranked QBR for the 2024 season with the 70.6. He led the Commanders. We converted on 4th down plays at an 87% rate. 87% of our 4th down plays were conversions for first downs, which is the highest of any team since 2000. Like, going into his sophomore season, obviously as a fan, we can't rely on that. Like, that's not about to happen again. I mean, it can, but it's highly not about to happen again. Can we be a very efficient 4th down team going forward? Yes, but 86% is ridiculous. But if you watch these games, you'll see that, like, these plays are happening because of Jayden Daniels. Like, a lot of times he's running to make a pass to convert, or he's just flat out running to convert. Like, a lot of times he's just straight using his legs because there's not a lot of options there. Now, granted, we have converted on him passing the ball quite a bit too, like touchdowns and everything on 4th down. But watching him play, he's the one making all the decisions. He's the one making all the reads. Like, Cliff Kingsbury is a great offensive coordinator. He's drawing up the plays. But a lot of times he's at his 3rd, 4th read, and then he gets through that and there's still no one open and he's just taking off. So he is the by far the focal point of why we've been, converting so much on these 4th down plays. I'm talking about 4th down touchdown plays, where we're at the goal line, we go for a 4th down, we got to get a touchdown. He's the main focal point of us getting these things. And it's not like we're just handing the ball off on 4th down and we're converting with a run. That's not what we're doing. We're putting the ball in Jayden Daniels' hands and telling him to go, hey, take us to the prize, take us home, go make a play. And he has came through on these 4th down at an 87% rate, which is crazy. He has 5 game-winning drives this season, including postseason. That's second behind only Patrick Mahomes with 7. So he has 5 game-winning drives for a rookie QB. And again, we could talk about these stats. We can compare stats and stats with other QBs. But if you actually watch these games, the ball's in his hands every time. This season, we essentially had no running game, really. He was the running game. He was our leading rusher and leading passer, of course, because he's the QB. But he was everything on our offense. He made the pellet passes when they needed to be made. He made the runs when he needed to scramble. He scrambled, and that's what he had to do at that moment because there was no other options. So with that being, what I'm trying to get at too is when we talk about top 5, he's top 5 for me is because we're relying on him to win us the games a whole lot more than a lot of these other QBs are being relied on to do, because they have and this is where I want the Commanders to get to ultimately, because these other teams have great players on their offense where they can rely on the St. Brown to get open, or you can rely on your O-line to block and Saquon to bust open for 5 yards on a 4th and 3 or 4th and 4 and hand it off to him. Or you know what I'm saying, you can rely on the AJ Brown to beat man coverage because you got Devontae Smith over there who also has an eye on him. You know what I'm saying? So it's just that's why I want our Commanders. I want what the Eagles have. I want what the Lions have offensively. I want us to have that. I want us to get that. Even the Buccaneers, like, granted their wide receivers were injured, but when they're both on the field, crazy, you know what I'm saying, possibilities that can happen with both of those two guys, good Godwin and the other stud 1,000-yard every year type wide receiver on the other side. I'm forgetting his name, but we just didn't have that type of talent outside of Terry this year. Zach Ertz was reliable, but I mean, you can't really compare him to any of the top tier tight ends right now at this stage in his career, in my opinion. Now, last year he essentially took the year off damn near. He come back, play with Jayden Daniels, and he has a great year at a tight end. So it's just like, again, just putting things into perspective. What are we asking Jayden Daniels to do on the field? And it's by far a lot more than most of these quarterbacks out here. Again, I'm not putting them in the top 4 with Lamar, Allen, Mahomes, and Burrow just yet. But I think he's 5 when you encompass everything into the discussion. I think he is 5. So that's all I got for y'all today, man. Let me know if y'all agree or disagree and why. I just want to know. I want to bring this discussion because this is going to be a discussion all off season leading up to a sophomore year. I think he's going to solidify top 5. I think he's going to be top 4, top 3 quarterbacks next season. No, for sure. I think he's going to break into that mode. But let me know what y'all think. Again, please like, subscribe, comment, share with a friend. We can have this big discussion down below. And yeah, man, that's it. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all night. Peace out.